Hey guys, it's King. Welcome to another Autism Digest interview. As you can see, I'm outside my studio today because we're doing something a little different for this interview. Given that I've recently moved back to my hometown of Clifton Park, New York, I figured it was only right to talk with a local politician in this area about the current state of autism awareness in this country. So here is Agatha Reid. Thanks for coming on, Agatha.
Hi, Kaden. Thank you for having me.
For those that may not know you, do you mind telling a bit of your story in your own words?
Sure. So I am a councilwoman on the town board of Clifton Park. I've been in office since the beginning of 2023, and most recently, I am also the deputy supervisor of the town.
That's awesome. So, my next question for you is given the current state of autism awareness in America, where do you think current autism policy is failing most?
Well, I do think, we're making strides in the right direction. We do have some policies in place. However, where they're failing the most, I think just in general, we could be doing more to raise more awareness and, you know, ways that we could improve. We could definitely do better with education, not only in educating, let's say, schools, town staff, legislators, first responders, but we could also make sure that we're not failing to educate those in the autistic community on what policies and tools exist to help them that they could be taking advantage of.
I absolutely agree. And I loved how you mentioned the autism community. I think everyone, including those diagnosed, including myself, needs to learn a bit more about autism before we can truly have change, which transitions beautifully into my next question. Do you think current autism policy in this country focuses too much on children on the spectrum and not enough on adults? Why or why not?
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. And I would also bring that into even a more local level when people think about what are we doing to support the autistic community. People will often bring up, yes, we have great parks and playgrounds that are more accessible and sensory areas, but that population is going to grow up and we need to continue to support them well into adulthood. There are a few local businesses that cater to autistic children, such as sensory gyms, but what about social groups growing up? So I absolutely agree with you there that we need to support not just the younger population, but as people grow into adulthood, we need to still consider what they're going to do socially, how they're going to fit into the workforce, how they're going to fit into the rest of their lives, not just as children.
Exactly. You make a really good point. We do a lot of good in this country on accommodating children and young adults on the spectrum, but once they reach 18, a lot of those resources are gone. While there are some social groups in this country and resources, the problem is there's a lot of hurdles you have to go through to get those resources when really it should be common knowledge.
Absolutely. And that's where that education part comes in, is it's not only educating people about the autistic community, but again, educating those. We do have resources, but it's educating what resources are available and how to seek them out and how to use them.
Exactly. My next question for you is how can voters hold politicians on the state, federal, or local level accountable for improving autism policy?
Yes, I mean, it's so important for democracy that everyone gets involved. Everyone has a voice. So I would definitely encourage anyone who's interested to start attending their local town board meetings, writing to their elected officials, advocating for more support and awareness in the community. Just being involved. There's many ways to get involved. We have a lot of, for example, in Clifton Park, we have a lot of volunteer groups where it's just members of the community. They're not even getting paid. They're just so passionate about helping the community. So we could maybe form some more volunteer groups to that end that work with town staff and take that up through the levels.
I absolutely agree. And I'm glad this town has volunteer groups. I think that should be a standard on the state and federal levels.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, my last question for you is what does the future hold for you? Do you have anything you want to promote?
Oh, I have many things. And what does the future hold for me? I mean, every day I'm thinking of something new, but I do, one of my main focuses in office has been trying to be a voice for others. I'm also very passionate about helping animals. So a few of my pet projects, I would say, in this role have been advocating for animals and advocating for families in this community. So I'd like to continue to do that and just continue to raise awareness. I have some family members that are diagnosed on the spectrum, and so it's very important to me to continue to advocate for them. My sister actually had started up a new business in the area, and I believe at the time she was one of the first. She started a sensory gym for children, and afterwards, many similar businesses followed suit. However, we learned very quickly that the state is not exactly small business friendly. So it was very difficult for these kind of businesses to continue to thrive into the future. So I think one way I would be able to use my role in local government would be to advocate for more grants for businesses such as that.
That's a really unique approach to that. I haven't even thought, and I've researched autism policies in this country and I absolutely agree. We need more programs for autism based businesses specifically. Anyways, that's going to do it for this interview, guys. Thanks so much to Agatha for the invite and for sharing her story. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest channel. Be sure to check out our latest issue that just came out. You can get that by going to autismdigest.com and be on the lookout for the audio file on our Spotify. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.